All right. There we are. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. Let me just give it a moment here. Check my mic. Mic volume is looking right. All right. No camera. Technical difficulties. Let's call it that. But I need to say it. 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 I am not a financial advisor. I am not going to tell people which coins they should buy, how they're going to 100 times their money in the next week. I will not tell you how you can get a Lambo. I will not show you exotic locations and pretend like I'm a millionaire. Am I going too far? However, just to point out, this whole stream is for me. Yep, for me. For me to look back and see what I'm going to do. And my last stream was a perfect case. I did exactly what I said I was going to do in that last stream. I don't know what you did, but let's retrospect it here real quick. But we're going to start on the month. And as we can see on our month, we have quite the one candle forming after a red 1 and 2. This is fairly good because now we have this 1-2 red pattern, believe it or not, that, you know, this is just superstition speaking, but things happen in threes. So let's see. Let's see what happens over the month. So we've broken out of our 31,000, right? If we drop down to the week, we can see that for the week we have popped above our TEMAs quite heavily here. We were running into some resistance on the 100, but we popped above that. So let's take a big jump into the day. So 1 month ago would be this 2 right here. This was the 2 that I was talking about. Should I take the 2? I didn't take the 2. If I had taken that 2, I would have been in this trade for a very long time. So I didn't take the 2 at that time, and I was watching very carefully at the type of resistance that I was seeing, right? So I was paying attention for this 2. I then stopped paying attention all the way over to here. I saw resistance here on this 2 and this 3. I stopped paying attention. But right here, we've got a 1 and we've got a 2 candle, and that 2 candle is trading just above that 50. So the moment this thing traded above the 100 TEMA, I bought. But I didn't buy Bitcoin. I told you I wasn't going to buy Bitcoin. I told you that I didn't quite like the way that everything else was looking. I could have gotten into, there were a few other cryptos that I might have gotten into, but I didn't. So I only got into one and I bought ETH. So that was the 23rd. And that was how I came to my decision to buy. Now, this line here, this green line down here at 25,000, 25,800, 26,000, whatever you want to call it. This was a great indicator. This is a classic example of what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a channel. I'm looking to try and buy at the bottom quarter of the channel and hopefully sell at the top of the channel before it goes back down. Now, in this case, obviously, I have not sold out of my position yet, and my position was in ETH, right? So I don't know what to say. I had a message from somebody who said, "Hey, you haven't streamed in a month. Why didn't you stream right before this happened?" And I kind of replied, like, dude, I said exactly what I was going to do, right? So that's exactly what I did on the daily. I waited for the candle to be trading above the TEMAs. That was a one and a two. I wanted to get it. And one of the reasons why was because if I bought in here, for instance, then I had a well, this is saying 3.35%, but I had a good lineup, and actually that can go up to 3%. I had a good lineup for a 3% stop loss off of that, right? That's a good lineup because if it does go below that, below the TEMAs, could go all the way down to 26, at 25, and then I could buy it, buy back in at 25 if it looks like I got another two coming up. Or any indicator. This could be, there's a lot of indicators that you could be using. One of the indicators here, if you use just flat TEMA, though, this is why I like to have a little more than one indicator working for me. If you had just waited for this cross right here, you would have lost out on a lot. If you had done this cross right here, well, where did it cross, right? It sort of crossed right here. I don't know. It's iffy. So TD sequential this time was the one that was screaming buy. And like I said, I got ETH. So let's look at that trade real quick. So as soon as I saw the upward momentum in the BTC, meaning that I saw that 2 above the TEMA, I went ahead and I placed a trade and I placed it on the 4. So I almost ignored all of the ETH chart completely, right? And I set my 3% stop limit. And right now my stop limit is, what is this at? I forgot. It's at like 1712 or something. 1712, right? And I've got my Fibonacci ready here. I've been playing with a few things, but on the day, ETH, this is what I'm thinking for the Fibonacci. And I'm thinking that we could see a pullback on ETH to 16, 1700. Could. It's possible, right? It's very possible. So on the day, we're on a 9 candle. This is actually our 11 candle, which means that it's quite possible that we could go to a 13 candle. But I don't see that much, not where we are right now. So I'm getting prepared to sell my position in ETH if I get a sell signal. Very important. If I get a strong sell signal, which I'm not seeing right now. It's a little worrying, but right now we're looking at 16, almost 17% on that trade, which is good. That alone makes me just want to sell and take my profit on that because I will have taken. You're not going to go wrong missing profit as long as you can get your fear of missing out, your FOMO under control. You should never have to worry about taking profit, right? So keep that in mind. If you jumped in the trade, if you were carefully listening to what I was saying my last stream and you bought into something and you're in profit, seriously consider taking some, yeah, taking some profit. So you can, let's say you bought $100 worth of ETH and now it's worth $117. You could sell $100 worth of ETH and throw that rest of that $17 into your wallet and sit on it for the next year, right? And then do it again and do it again and do it again. Or I'm going to go out on a limb here. If you bought into ETH under, let's say you bought into ETH under 1700, you may just want to throw that into cold storage and just scrape up another couple $100, or I don't know if we're ever going to see this low again. I don't know if I'll ever see. This is very close to the last time that I bought ETH for my cold storage. So that's why I'm saying, we may never see it this low again. I think I said that. I'd have to look for the video, but I think I said that back here, or maybe even here. But if I did say that here, I was definitely wrong, but I think maybe I said it back here. I think I might have said it at 1500 that you might not get a better price than 15,000 or 1500 on ETH again. And well, that was your chance, I guess, because I think ETH has a very good chance of getting support above the TEMAs now, and it will start a slow, leggy uptick in price. But let's go to BTC. So we're already getting a breaking candle on our 12, right? Because we got a 9 candle, 11, and then this is our 12th candle. So this is a break right here. So if it goes down, right? And let's just look at some of the action on the 4-hour here real quick. And this will make it a little more pronounced, right? If it goes down, we're going to have to see what happens right here. But even on the 4-hour, that could be a 9-10% drop on the 4-hour. We got a 1 and a 2. This is a sell signal on the 4-hour. We've got enough space here. Remember when I said things like the more distance you get from this TEMA line, the more it becomes like strong gravity. The stronger the gravity gets, so to speak. The more you get away from this TEMA line. So right now, price action wants to pull back down to here. And on Bitcoin, especially on the day, I see no reason why we can't see Bitcoin gaining support just above this 31,000. People don't like to hear that, but look at how far away we are. We are currently 20% in value away from our moving averages. 20% is really big. So I will be looking very closely to sell the Ethereum to take some profit. I suggest that you come up with a way to take profit and not feel bad about it, because this could, I don't know what's going on, right? I would like to say things like, oh, ETF, oh, blah, 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 blah. But if you look at, I mean, if you look at this channel right here, this channel is not, this channel on the 4 hour is not a sustainable channel on the daily. This is not a valid channel on the daily. So that's the kind of problems that we run into here. So I'm preparing. I'm probably going to raise. So, okay, so I'm in my ETH trade right now. I am probably going to raise my stop limit fairly soon to, what is that? Let's call that 1790. So I'm going to raise my stop limit up to 1790. Hope it goes up, but I think it's going to go down. And that's going to provide me a nice little 14%. Yeah. And I'll be happy with that, especially if this drops all the way down to 1670 or 1680. If it does drop all the way back down to here, I'll buy back in. Easy enough, right? If it doesn't, I will wait for consolidation or a retrace, and then I will buy back in, right? Because it'll consolidate or it'll retrace and start going back up. But that's the thing. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a consolidation or a retrace. If I look at Bitcoin on the 4 hour, I see a consolidation right now. And I could easily see us getting support here at $33,500. And we could very well, let's see, let's just do some trickery, some nonsense, some craziness with the lines that people are going to look at and they're going to say, oh, that makes no sense. Why'd you do that? We could see a channel forming like that. Very possible. Very, very possible. Because we still got, oh, gee, what, 2 months ago, maybe? Maybe a little longer? Okay, since we're kind of retrospecting some of this stuff, if you have missed out, let's go to the week. If you have missed out on all of this over here, right? If you missed out on all of this to buy, remember this. Remember this for the next cycle. It may not quite be as pronounced, but remember it. Now, I believe, just off the top of my head, I believed that I said around 27,000 that it was time to start, what's it called? Cost averaging in. It was time to start setting money aside a month to buy into Bitcoin and hold that Bitcoin. And then like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when this started here, I think it was right about when this started here, which would have been, late April. I said, this is the smart money phase, right? This is where people pour their money into it. They know it's not going to go any lower. This is where you start pouring your money into it. So even if you didn't start cost averaging back here, you should start cost averaging in at this very moment, right now in time, $100 a month if you can swing it, $50 a month, $200 a month, something that is reasonable, money that you won't miss. Everything's tight right now. I have my own struggles. Don't have a webcam anymore, but we'll be good. Um, but this is the time. This is it, right? And I'm gonna say that once we get to $70,000, $100,000, somewhere between there, we're gonna need to be very worried about when we sell. All right, because our windows for retraces and the size of those retraces are going to get a lot smaller as this goes on, right? It could all end up being our retraces could all end up being a lot smaller. On the week, we have a 7 candle. We have 3 days left on the week. Not bad. We could see a 9 candle on the week. And if we see a 9 candle on the week, then we are out of the hole. We are done. We are on our way up. It will start to become altcoin season probably in 4 to 5 months from now, right? We're already seeing some big uh, moves. That doesn't look like much on the week, but we're also we're seeing buys in a lot of smaller coins on the week, right? So Matic is one of my favorites. We're seeing a buy signal for Matic on the week. We saw a buy signal here, which is why I'm going to wait and be very careful before I buy anything. And once again, I really want to see something over the TEMAs at least on the day. So if we drop to the day, we're very close to hitting over the TEMA so that Matic starts becoming a buy again, right? And what else did I pull up? Crow, which on the day, this is the kind of movement you want to see, right? So that's one thing that I used to do and that I will probably start doing again with Crow because I use the crypto.com. I don't get paid by them or anything, but I do use it and I do like their service. I do like the prepaid Visa and the access to what I can do is when I move $500 from my bank account to crypto.com in order to spend it on my prepaid Visa, I might do something like buy Crow because it'll allow me to buy the Crow right away and I just have to hold on to it for, the 7 business days until the bank payment clears. And then at that point, you know, you sell the Crow and if you put $500 in, maybe you get 550, maybe you get 560. In this case, I didn't do this. I just did this though. I just moved $500, but I didn't buy Crow. I could have gotten 10%, which would have been 50 bucks. I could have gotten a free 50 bucks if I had done it this time. But I didn't. I could still buy into Crow, right? But we'll have to see. Um, but yeah. So let's cut it short. Let's cut the tail on this one. I am looking for consolidation and I'm looking for pullback. My prediction was already from the last couple months was that 35,000 to 36,000, that was going to be our next level of consolidation in my mind. So let's see if this is our next level of consolidation, and let's wait for a good solid footing before we think about buying any more. And let's get ready by placing our stop limits and putting those pretty close. So that should be less than 3%. That's a 2% from the current price stop limit, and that's about what I want in order to get out before anything goes wrong. And if I do get that stop limit, just to tell you, I will immediately be buying back in about 6% less in price. and then I don't know, take the cash, put all the cash back into ETH. Who knows? Who knows what I'll do then? But that's what I'm looking for. Maybe I didn't say it. This moment in time, way too late to buy in. Way too late to buy in, right? Way too much going on to worry about to buy in right now. I believe that we're going to have some consolidation. Let's wait and see if we get that consolidation. We have broken the 9 candle here. Let's see if we get like a 1-2 on the red and then we get another 1-2 going up. Because if that happens, if we get like a 1-2-3 red and then we get a good solid one, another good solid 1 and 2 up from here, we could be looking at 44,000 as where we actually consolidate. This is not consolidation yet. If anything, this right here, this is looking like a what, an abandoned island, an abandoned doji. I think it's abandoned island. I'll have to look. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, this is starting to look like an abandoned island doji. So if the next doji, which is in 13 hours, starts trading, or if the next candle starts trading beneath this one in the next 13 hours, well, I fully expect my stop limit to get triggered. If not, then it'll go up. And there's a very good chance that my stop limit's going to get triggered and then it's going to go right back up before it comes anywhere close to this price. But I had, let's say I had $100. Now I have $115. How can I complain? All right. Listen, have a great weekend. Enjoy the day. Things are getting cold. I know that. But yeah,